In the intricate dance of global economics, few instruments are as debated and impactful as tariffs. These taxes, levied on goods crossing international borders, are often presented as shields for domestic industries, a means of leveling the playing field, or tools of retaliation in the complex game of international trade. But beneath the surface of these seemingly straightforward measures lies a web of economic consequences, affecting everyone from multinational corporations to the average consumer. Are tariffs truly the economic panacea they are sometimes portrayed to be, or do they carry hidden costs that ultimately undermine their intended benefits? This is a critical question that demands careful examination, as the decisions made regarding tariffs resonate throughout the global economy, shaping trade relationships, influencing prices, and ultimately impacting the prosperity of nations. The use of tariffs dates back centuries, serving as a primary source of revenue for governments and a tool for regulating trade. Historically, tariffs were often employed to protect nascent domestic industries from more established foreign competitors, allowing them time to grow and mature. This protectionist approach was particularly prevalent during the Industrial Revolution, as countries sought to develop their manufacturing capabilities. However, the rise of globalization in the 20th and 21st centuries led to a significant reduction in tariffs, driven by the belief that free trade fosters economic growth and efficiency. International agreements, such as the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, and the World Trade Organization, WTO, played a crucial role in lowering trade barriers and promoting a more interconnected global economy. Despite this trend, tariffs remain a contentious issue, with some countries resorting to them as a means of addressing trade imbalances, protecting specific industries, or exerting political pressure. The debate over the economic effects of tariffs continues to rage, highlighting the complexities and trade-offs involved in international trade policy. The fundamental mechanism of a tariff is deceptively simple: it's a tax levied on imported goods or services. When a product crosses a border and is subjected to a tariff, the price of that product increases within the importing country's market. This price hike directly impacts both domestic producers and consumers. For domestic producers of similar goods, the tariff creates a competitive advantage. They can now sell their products at a higher price point, closer to the inflated price of the imported goods, potentially increasing their profits and market share. This perceived benefit is often the driving force behind calls for tariff implementation. However, this advantage comes at a cost to domestic consumers. They are forced to pay more for the imported good, and potentially for domestically produced alternatives as well, as producers take advantage of the reduced competition to raise prices. This reduces consumers' purchasing power and can lead to a decrease in overall demand for the good. The net effect on overall domestic welfare hinges on the magnitude of these opposing forces, the benefit to producers versus the cost to consumers. Furthermore, tariffs directly impact trade volumes. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs naturally lead to a decrease in the quantity of those goods that are imported. This reduction in imports can disrupt established trade relationships between countries, leading to a decrease in overall trade activity. The extent of this disruption depends on several factors, including the size of the tariff, the availability of alternative suppliers, and the responsiveness of both demand and supply to changes in price. If demand for the good is relatively inelastic, meaning consumers are not very sensitive to price changes, the reduction in imports may be smaller. Conversely, if demand is highly elastic, the impact on trade flows could be substantial. The central paradox surrounding tariffs lies in the conflict between their intended benefits and their often unintended consequences. Proponents of tariffs argue that they protect domestic industries, create jobs, and reduce trade deficits. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs are supposed to encourage consumers to buy domestically produced goods, thereby boosting domestic production and employment. However, economic analysis consistently reveals a more complex and often less favorable picture. While tariffs may provide temporary relief to specific industries, they do so at the expense of consumers, who face higher prices and reduced purchasing power. Moreover, tariffs can harm domestic industries that rely on imported inputs, increasing their production costs and making them less competitive in the global market. The issue is further complicated by the potential for retaliation from other countries. When one country imposes tariffs on imports, its trading partners are likely to respond in kind, imposing tariffs on goods from the original country. This can escalate into a trade war, where multiple countries impose tariffs on each other's goods, leading to a significant disruption of global trade and economic activity. The question then becomes, are the short-term benefits of tariffs worth the long-term costs of higher prices, reduced trade, and potential trade wars? The answer is rarely clear-cut, as the economic effects of tariffs can vary depending on the specific circumstances, the size of the tariffs, and the reactions of other countries. The economic effects of tariffs are not confined to boardrooms and trade negotiations. They ripple through the entire economy, impacting the lives of ordinary citizens. Higher prices for imported goods directly affect consumers' wallets, reducing their ability to purchase other goods and services. This can lead to a decrease in overall demand, which can negatively impact economic growth. Furthermore, tariffs can disproportionately affect low-income households, who tend to spend a larger portion of their income on essential goods, many of which are imported. The impact extends beyond consumer spending. Businesses that rely on imported inputs, such as raw materials or components, face higher production costs, which can force them to raise prices, reduce output, or even lay off workers. This can have a cascading effect on the entire supply chain, impacting related industries and employment. The broader implications of tariffs extend to international relations. Trade is not just an economic activity, it's also a form of diplomacy. When countries engage in trade, they develop economic interdependencies, which can foster cooperation and reduce the likelihood of conflict. Tariffs, on the other hand, can create friction and mistrust between countries, potentially undermining international stability. Therefore, understanding the economic effects of tariffs is crucial for policymakers, businesses, and consumers alike. It's essential to weigh the potential benefits of tariffs against their potential costs and to consider the broader implications for the economy and international relations. The imposition of tariffs triggers a chain reaction of economic consequences, altering established patterns of trade and production. One immediate effect is a shift in consumer behavior. As imported goods become more expensive due to tariffs, consumers may switch to domestically produced alternatives, if available. This can lead to an increase in demand for domestic goods, potentially boosting domestic production and employment in those sectors. However, this shift comes at a cost. Consumers are forced to pay higher prices for the goods they consume, reducing their overall purchasing power. Another significant consequence is the potential disruption of global supply chains. Many industries rely on complex international supply chains, sourcing inputs from multiple countries. Tariffs on these inputs can increase production costs, making it more difficult for businesses to compete in the global market. This can lead to a relocation of production to countries with lower tariffs or to countries that are not subject to tariffs. The impact on trade flows is also significant. Tariffs reduce the volume of imports, which can lead to a decrease in overall trade between countries. This can have a negative impact on exporting countries, as they lose access to foreign markets. The potential for retaliation from other countries further exacerbates these effects. When one country imposes tariffs, its trading partners may respond by imposing tariffs of their own, leading to a trade war. This can result in a significant disruption of global trade, harming all countries involved. The future of tariffs in the global economy remains uncertain. While there is a general consensus among economists that tariffs are not an effective way to promote economic growth or improve overall welfare, they continue to be used by countries as a tool for protecting domestic industries, addressing trade imbalances, or exerting political pressure. Looking ahead, it's crucial to monitor the evolving trade landscape and to assess the impact of tariffs on various sectors of the economy. policymakers need to carefully weigh the potential benefits of tariffs against their potential costs and to consider the broader implications for the economy and international relations. It's also important to explore alternative policy options, such as subsidies or retraining programs, that can help domestic industries adjust to global competition without resorting to protectionist measures. The ongoing debate over tariffs highlights the complexities and trade-offs involved in international trade policy. There are no easy answers, and the best approach will likely vary depending on the specific circumstances. However, a thorough understanding of the economic effects of tariffs is essential for making informed decisions that promote sustainable economic growth and prosperity for all. The allure of tariffs as a quick fix for economic challenges often overshadows the intricate web of consequences they unleash. While the promise of shielding domestic industries may be tempting, the reality is that tariffs act as a double-edged sword, raising prices for consumers, disrupting trade flows, and potentially sparking retaliatory measures that harm the global economy. Ultimately, the evidence suggests that tariffs are a blunt instrument, ill-suited for fostering long-term economic growth or improving overall welfare. As nations navigate the complexities of the global marketplace, a more nuanced and collaborative approach, focused on promoting fair trade practices and investing in domestic competitiveness, is essential for achieving sustainable prosperity.